Welcome back, everyone. NicknLex here. Thank you so much for being here today, for joining me to this new marathon with music with Nick. Super excited. We got some Latin flavors today. This is sponsored by JK. I can't wait to do this. I'm a huge fan of Latin music. I'm a huge fan of Latin jazz, just Latin, music. Growing up in Mexico, just uh, you know, opens up that door. You hear all this. First of all, I mean, I guess all the Mexican music, the traditional music, mariachi music, but also being in a place like Puerto Vallarta, there was a huge, you know, variety of restaurants and bars for Puerto Ricanos, Puerto Rico, and Cubanos, Cubans, and Argentinians, and you just kind of like get thrown into that world. And so I kind of like have a big love for Spanish music, Latin music, just music that has like that sabor, that like you say, that taste, that I don't know what it is, but it's very good. So I'm very excited to do this. And there's some stuff that I've heard of course, like Gloria Estefan, um, and Santana, of course. I would always call her Gloria Esteban, and Alexa's like pulling my ears, and she's like, "It's Esteban." So yeah, and then Selena, of course. I saw the movie. So there's a couple of things that I do know, and I'm gonna add something at the end because the marathon is a little bit on the short side. I'm gonna add some Al Di Meola, who was also a Latino infused kind of like player. Um, so yeah, and since all this has a little bit of rock and jazz and Latino flavor, so I wanted to end it with some Aldi Meola, who, by the way, is doing fine, and I'm super happy that he's well. Okay, so thanks again so much, JK, like I said, for sponsoring the marathon. Thank you for getting in touch with me over this very easily. And thanks everyone for being here, for watching. So let's go. We're gonna do Bene More. I've never heard of him. Bonito y Sobroso. We're gonna, from the album Serie Platino. Let's see what year this is. 1997. Okay. Maybe it's older. Maybe this is like a remaster or something. Then we're gonna do Más que nada. I'll translate these when we get there. From Sergio Mendes in Brasil 66. This is the album with the same name. This is 1987. All right. Then we're gonna do Selena como la Flor from the album Dreaming of You. This is from 1995. I saw this movie. It broke my heart, honestly. If you have not seen this movie, you have to. Jennifer Lopez did an amazing job portraying Selena, and I think the family was very happy with the end result. Has some amazing cast, some amazing performances by Edward James Olmos, as well as the father. Very good. Then we're gonna do Gloria Estefan, Miami Sound Machine, the song Conga from Greatest Hits. Can't wait. This is gonna be so epic. And then we're gonna do Santana with Rob Thomas. This is the song Smooth from Supernatural. Supernatural, 1999. I do remember when this came out. Now, JK was basically wanted me to do Oye Como Va, and I said no. I've heard that one before. I think everyone has heard Oye Como Va. Smooth, I'm not sure if I've heard this. I'll always raise my finger. It doesn't ring a bell. So I'll get surprised. But I remember that this album was like his comeback album, which is already 24 years old. But I remember the song by Maná, because it's a Mexican band that basically resides in Puerto Vallarta, where I lived. So it was a big deal for them to play with Santana, and I think it's the song called, let me see, has to say mana somewhere here. I think it's Maria Maria featuring. It doesn't say mana though. Oh no, Corazón Espinado. Okay, Corazón Espinado featuring Mana. Yeah, I was like, it has to, it has to say that they're on there. Okay, and I'll do at the end. I'm gonna do Al Di Meola. Di Meola plays Piazzolla. These last tango for Astor. So this is a beautiful piece that I've heard before, and I'm also doing it because it's the only album that is Warner Brothers. So we're kind of like, we're just gonna take care of our channel together. Okay, so without further ado, let's get to it. Give me one. All right, all ready to go. Got some coffee here, all ready to go. Thank you again so much, everyone, for being here. Let's have some fun with this Sabor Latino. Just kidding.
Bailan el mango los mexicanos. Sí. Mueven la cintura y los hombros igualito que los cubanos. Pero qué bonito y sabroso bailan el mango los mexicanos. Mueven la cintura y los hombros igualito que los cubanos. Para bailar y gozar, que hasta parece que estoy en La Habana, cuando bailando veo una mexicana. No hay que olvidar que México y La Habana son dos ciudades que son como hermanas, para reír y cantar. Pero qué bonito y sabroso bailan el mango las mexicanas. Mueven la cintura y los hombros igualito que las cubanas. Muchacho, mira como yo soy en La Habana. Mueven la cintura y los hombros. Y tú verás, nene, como yo bailo con la mexicana. Mueven la cintura y los hombros.
This is so good because this is what I love about this type of music. It's so positive, it's so sensual in a way as well, and it's basically all about positivity and moving your body. I mean, just like, for example, it says, pero qué bonito y sabroso bailan el mambo los mexicanos. So basically, I love how pretty and tasteful the Mexicans dance the mambo, right? Mueven la cintura y los hombros igualito que los cubanos. So they move their waist and their shoulders just like the Cubans. That's so nice. And then, pero qué bonito y sabroso bailan el mambo los mexicanos, igualito que los cubanos, con un sentido del ritmo. Like it says, just like the Cubans with that sense of rhythm. Para bailar y gozar, to dance and and enjoy. This is so beautiful, and it's just embedded in the culture. And then he says, no hay que olvidar que México y La Habana son los dos ciudades que son como hermanos. I love that. Let's not forget that Mexico, they mean, when they say Mexico, it's Mexico City. And La Habana, which is, Habana, son their cities like they're brothers, son como hermanas, like sister cities. This is just wonderful. I love this merengue, this salsa. It's so wonderful. And I mean, how can you just sit there and not move when you hear this kind of music? It just screams at you like. And I remember when I was a teen, uh, I would sit outside, because we lived in Puerto Vallarta, and there's this amazing boardwalk, and we used to see Willie and Lobo. I don't know if you know them. Unfortunately, Willie passed away a couple of years ago, but I would always go see them. Willie and Lobo, the famous duo in Puerto Vallarta. They were world famous, but and Wolfgang, he was from Germany, a flamenco player who learned how to play with manitas de plata, and Willie on the electric violin. They were wonderful. So you could literally just like from outside, I couldn't go in because I didn't have any money. I couldn't just sit there, but I could put my head on the window and look in because everything is open because it's so hot. So I would, before I was even allowed to drink or anything, which is at the age of 18 in Mexico, I would just sit outside and listen to bands like this playing samba, y salsa, y merengue, and mariachi music. And I was always drawn to live music. And since we lived in a part of town that was very full of gringos, because we were also the gringos at the moment, that it was very easily to get there. We'd literally walk 5 minutes and I was already at Café des Artistes, and they would play this kind of stuff. So I was enamored very, very young with music like that. And it also helped me to learn Spanish. So, but yeah, let's continue. It's awesome.
Yo mira como yo gozo La Habana. Mueve la cintura y los hombros. Y tú verás, nene, cómo se goza en La Habana. Pero qué bonito y sabroso bailan el mambo las mexicanas. Mueven la cintura y los hombros igualito que las cubanas. ¡Ya!
Wonderful, beautiful. I'm so happy. Sometimes I would ask my mom later, when we had already lived in Mexico for like a decade. I was like, and my brother basically, he moved to Mexico and he didn't like it and he went back to Germany. I went back to Germany as well to study. I finished middle school, and then I was living with my grandmother, and she passed away. So I asked my brother, "Hey, can I stay with you?" And he didn't want me to. He was just too busy doing his stuff, which I understand. You can't just take care of a 15-year-old. So I had to go back to Mexico, and I didn't like it at all. I didn't like being like a teenager and the whole thing. But then, it was so worth it in the end, because I always say this. I did meet up. I had my, I met people and I had my relationships, and they were all unfortunately very toxic and not as successful, and then I met Alexia, and that was just God's blessing, honestly, because we've been together now for almost 14 years, and not one day has been a sad day. Yes, of course, everybody has problems. We're not perfect. We do argue like everybody else, but in the end, it's nothing that can be resolved in 5 minutes, or there's no drama or jealousy or anything. It's so wonderful, and I'm so happy. And and my mom was always like, that's why you stayed in Mexico in the end, because you had to meet Alexia, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. Of course, before that, I didn't understand that was basically, yes, the reason. It was also so weird. Everything that we had in common, we went to the same school, we knew the same people. We were bound to end up together. It was only a matter of time, It's so crazy, and it's so wonderful, and we both have been blessed to be with each other, and to be with, she's not Mexican, but she has all that Mexican culture, and she did live in Mexico, and she speaks Spanish, and her dad is half Mexican, and so she has that American culture where she's you know, I think there's a lot of control in the emotions, because Latinas are very, very emotional. Like, to be with a real Mexican, it's a different ball game. To be with a, you know, a European or an American, they're just so much. There's so much passion behind it, and there's so much jealousy, and it really is different. Not all of them. I just maybe had like not the best of luck, but it's just another. It's another. There's so much fire. There's so much passion, but it's also, you have to be careful. It's a good thing, but it's also very, very difficult. Now, but I'm just talking about my experience. I can't say that every Latina woman is that way, but there's a lot of fire, and I think Alexia just learned how to control that fire because of, I guess, her background, her mother, you know, or, you know, I don't know. I just that's my experience, you know, but it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. Okay, let's continue with Sergio Mendes and Brasil 66. So the first song, Bonito y Sobroso, means beautiful and tasteful. Sabroso, which something is delicious. Más que nada is more than nothing. Más que nada, yeah, more than nothing. And this is Sergio Mendes and Brasil 66. Let's see. Maybe this is not, this is maybe, since it says Brasil, I don't know. Let's see.
Que eu quero passar, pois o samba está animado. O que eu quero é samba. Este samba que é misto de maracatu. É samba de preto veio, samba de preto do. Mas que nada, samba como esta tão legal. Você não vai querer que chegue no final. Frente que eu quero passar, pois o samba está animado. O que eu quero é samba.
São Paulo, Brazil. This is so. I love Portuguese. I never learned it, but I understand it very well because of the Italian and the Spanish. And I guess because of, if you understand Spanish and Italian, you understand Latin, and kind of you do understand a little bit of French. Not that much, but when I watch movies in French, I pretty much can get along if I have subtitles on there. It sounds just, it has that Latin flavor, you know, and Portuguese is just, you know, it's almost like, I hear almost like Italian with Spanish and French mixed together. Is that Portuguese? But I love samba, and I love the whole carnival in Brazil, carnaval, and the bossa nova. I just love Brazilian culture. You know, the food, and they're all about dancing, and it's also very, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of. It's very. I don't know. I don't know what to say, but yeah, it's very sensual and very like that, you know. Wonderful, wonderful tune this. I love it.
Este samba que é misto de maracatu. É samba de preto veio, samba de preto samba como este tão legal, você não vai querer que chegue no final.
Wonderful. I love it. I love it how it says más que nada. Samba como este samba como este tão legal. Like basically saying how can the samba even be legal? Más que nada. Like, but in this way, más que nada, like it's like talking about like más que nada, like when you say más que nada, in this way, it's like saying, well, más que nada, like when you say, hey, before we talk about, like, before getting to this, like, let's talk about this. That's when you say más que nada, like, hey, like, hang on a second. It's so funny because in Spanish, the way you use words, there's so many ways to phrase and use certain words for different meanings. Oh my God, it's just infinitive. It's beautiful. Más que nada. Like before, yeah, it's literally like when you say, más que nada, hay que hablar de esto, no? Like literally, like, hey, like before we continue, that's when you use that phrase in that moment. But you can also say más que nada, like, oh, yo quiero la música en español más que, but you can't really say like, well, I mean, yes, you could. Más que nada, yo quiero la música en español. Before everything, before I like music in Spanish, you know. But yeah, it's just like infinitive, you know. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing to speak Spanish or just a Latin, you know, language, whatever, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, French, you know. It's wonderful. Okay. Now, Selena. Now, I do know she is of Mexican. I guess her dad is Mexican. And she was born in the U.S. But she did learn Spanish, and she was singing in Spanish. So this song is going to be in Spanish. But I remember that in her interviews, she was like not really that secure. But she did speak, I think, Spanish, but like not like perfectly, which is fine, you know. Okay, let's give it up for Selena, and this is Como la Flor.
Yo sé que tienes un nuevo amor, sin embargo te deseo lo mejor. Si en mí no encontraste felicidad, tal vez alguien más te la dará. Como la flor, con tanto amor, me diste tú, se marchito, me marchó y yo sé perder, pero ay, cómo me duele, ay, cómo me duele.
This is beautiful. I love the lyrics, and they're so, you know, this is about, you know, the being pretty much in love but not being happy in love. This is like the song from someone who's like, the other party has moved on, and this is basically a song dedicated to that person. Is like, um the love, like, I know that you've moved on and that you're happy, but I'm still, you know, like, that's that love that you gave me, that it marched away. And then basically this person says, well, you know, I pretty much like gonna, I'm defeated, and then I'm just gonna, like, you know, let it go. And but oh my, it says it hurts so bad, you know. That's basically what she says. And it's crazy because who can't who can't relate to a song like this? Who hasn't lost someone, where you were in love with that person, and then it didn't work out, and you were like, oh man, you know, I'm just gonna, like, I'm not gonna give up, and then I'm gonna try, and then you just, like, there comes the point where you say, okay, it's not gonna work out, or they have moved on and they're happy, and you can't really, like, just, what can you do, you know, when somebody has moved on? And then it's like, when she says, and it puts a knot in my throat, I don't even know why, but it says, ay como me duele, like, oh, like, how does the way it hurts, you know? So it's just very beautiful, very cool.
Vieras como duele perder tu amor. Con tu adiós te llevas mi corazón. No sé si pueda volver a amar, porque te di todo el amor que pude dar. Como la flor, con tanto amor, me diste tú. Se marchito, me marcho hoy. Yo sé perder, pero ay, cómo me duele. Ay, cómo me duele. Como la flor, con tanto amor, me diste tú. Se marchito, me marcho hoy. Yo sé perder, pero ay, cómo me duele. Ay, cómo me duele. Ay, cómo me duele.
Wonderful. What can I say? It's beautiful. This is another style that I got used to, like, this music called banda, you know, banda. um so there's this ranchero music, which is a little bit more mariachi, and música ranchera, like ranchero music, is when you hear the you know, like the yelling and the trumpets, violin, and it's very like, ranchero means ranch cowboy, you know, like vaquero stuff. And this tejano is like, tejano music is like the Tex-Mex, you know, like, it's like the Latin infusion from Mexico with the American, you know. So it's like a beautiful kind of mixture. And there's so many styles of banda and corridos is more like about when they sing about the drugs and, you know, about the women, and but it's all, I don't know, it's like a cultural thing, you know. People just listen to that music, you know. They don't know anything else. they would never listen to rock because that would be from the devil, you know. There's just people that are very into that kind of, I understand it, you know, like the Argentinians, they listen to only Spanish Argentinian rock, and it's really good, you know. It's really, really good. It really, like, there's bands that sound like Deep Purple in Spanish, and the guitar player plays just like Richie Blackmore, stuff like that. So it's just like, it's so crazy because, I mean, if you look at the continent, the American continent, there's so much people that speak Spanish. So it's the amount of music in Spanish is way more than the music in English. I mean, I don't know, because I mean, there's a lot from the States, there's a lot from England and Canada and other English speaking nations, like Germany. They have some artists that record in German, but most of German artists record in English, and pretty much all major European bands record in English. But there's some, you know, cases where they, you know, record in their original language, you know, like Polish or Swedish, or it just depends. Yeah. But I mean, the Spanish speaking audience is insane how big it is. But I think obviously what Selena's dad wanted to achieve here, and I think he did an amazing job to coach her in Spanish, the way she rolls her R and the way she sounds. She just sounds, it's like the same thing with Linda Ronstadt. Literally the other day I looked at a video. I was looking on YouTube, Linda Ronstadt speaking Spanish. I couldn't find anything. So I think she was just fluent in singing, but then when you talk, you always understand more than you can speak. That's what happened to me with English and Spanish when I learned them. Like, I understood pretty much everything, but I couldn't counter back, you know. So Linda Ronstadt, I think, and Selena were very, very efficient in Spanish singing, but when it became to talking, I think there was a little bit of a border there, you know, like, so yeah, this was beautiful. I mean, it brought me to tears. So this next is from Gloria Estefan, Conga. Let's see.
Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer.
I know this, but I haven't heard it like in forever. I've never reacted to it. This is obviously super famous. It's very like dun, 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 dun. This is like very salsa. Like, let's listen to it. This is so good. Like I've never really listened to the song. I just know this. I know the intro, and then I think I know the what she's doing right now. That's pretty much like what I remember, but I've never really listened to the song. It's so good. I think she was as good as Madonna. I mean, at that time, she was literally just in a more Latin way, you know, but I mean, the dancing and the beauty and everything and the the quality of music was definitely there. And I don't know, I don't know how to compare them, but I'm sure that all the Latinos were listening to Gloria Estefan, also to Madonna, of course. But I mean, I'm sure she was huge in the 80s or 90s, you know. But this is just amazing good. This is so good.
Party till we see the break of day. Better get yourself together and hold on to what you got. Once the music hits your system, there's no way you're gonna stop. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Feel the rhythm of the music getting stronger. Don't you fight it, you gotta do that conga beat. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Feel the rhythm of the music getting stronger. Don't you fight it, you try to do that conga. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Feel the rhythm of the music getting stronger. Don't you fight it, you try to do that conga beat. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga.
Wow, that was so good. I can't believe it. This is such a good song, such a good cut. Wow, my face is like red because I don't know. There's one album, I think it's Gloria Estefan's, which is red, and pretty much if you have oh no, three albums I have a red cover. The Más que nada, and then Bonito y Sobroso is also red. So when I put on the lyrics, it's like, you know, red. Okay, so Santana is next. Man, this has been so much fun. This marathon is the bomb. I wish more people would do Latin music on the channel. Honestly, we've tried, as you know, if you follow the channel, like Jose, he most of the time, you know, does stuff in Spanish, and unfortunately, the Spanish doesn't have the biggest, you know, following in Spanish, and I get it. You know, it's like if I would have never lived in Mexico and my dad wasn't Italian, and you know, maybe I wouldn't be, maybe I wouldn't be attracted at all to that. You know, it's like, I don't know, like living in Germany and you watch this channel, you know, and then somebody like uploads like stuff in I don't know, like in Swedish. I don't know if I would be interested in, you know, if I didn't speak the language. So I get it, you know. But being in the States, though, I mean, there's so much Spanish speakers. I don't know. It really, like, I get it, you know. I don't know if I would be that into it if it wasn't part of my life. So I totally get it why people don't click on it or don't want to listen to it or don't care, because it's like I don't understand. But me as a musician, I just love the music. If I didn't understand anything what they're saying or singing, I would still be interested because of the music. I love bossa nova, I love salsa, I love all kinds of musical styles. Um, so yeah. Okay, so Santana's next, Smooth, is the song from the Supernatural album. I think this album was like his comeback album after, like, I guess the 70s and 80s. And it's so weird because I never got into Santana. I did have the best of, so I do know Europa, Oye Como Va, Samba Pa Ti, Black Magic Woman, all those classics. But that's, I guess, on the 70s side. But I did a marathon for Jose, and that was Santana, and I didn't even know one song, and they were all so good. And it was a Santana that I never had heard before. It was a virtuoso Santana, jazz fusion Santana. It was just remarkable how good this man plays the guitar. And I mean, he's world famous, and a lot of people are like, who's your favorite guitar player? Santana, because he's so big. It's like you relate just like, good electric guitar players. Oh yeah, Jimi Hendrix and Santana, automatically. That's like because they're so big, the names are so unforgettable. So let's see how he does here, and I'm sure he's gonna like rock it. But let's go with Smooth. Here we go. Of course. Oh my god. It was like, this sounds so familiar. Oh my god, this is so good. When he did that, when he said, "Oh, let's forget about," that's like when it literally hit me. But before that, no, it's like the same of the emotion. Oh, wait, let me pull up the lyrics. That's when it hit me. At first, it was like, this sounds so familiar, and it's like it says, it says, and it's just like the ocean under the moon. It's the same as the emotion that I get from you. You got the kind of loving that I can be so smooth. Give me your heart, make it real. That's when it's like, it hit me like a brick in the head, Oh, let's forget about it. Yes, I've heard this before. I didn't recognize it though from the beginning. So it's just one of those songs, I guess, that I've heard many times on the radio, in the bar, dancing. Yes, definitely heard this before, but never really like analyzed, or I didn't even know it was Santana. So that's kind of sad. But and I didn't know, and I don't know who Rob Thomas is, but I think Let's see. JK did send me something about him here, that he was from a band, from a rock band, and that they collaborated. I guess this entire album is a big collab with other artists, but what a great song. Let's go back.
Be so smooth, yeah. Give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it. But I'll tell you one thing: if you would leave, it'd be a crying shame. In every breath and every word, I hear your name calling me out. Without from the body, oh, you hear my rhythm on your radio, and you feel the turning of the world, so soft and slow, turning you round and round. And if you said this life ain't good enough, I'd give my world to lift you up. I could change my life to better suit your mood, because you're so smooth. And it's just like the ocean under the moon. It's the same as the emotion that I get from you. You got the kind of loving that can be so smooth. Yeah. Give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it. It's just like the ocean under the moon. It's the
Now I hear it so much. I mean, Santana, he's such a what I love about Santana is that he's basically instantly recognizable. The Dorian mode, he just like, he loves to be in that mode. It has a very like Latin flavor, that mode has or you could play the melodic minor scale as well. That's more of a classical sound, you know, almost like a flamenco vibe, you know, if you want to put it that way, or neoclassical, like classical music. But he plays in the Dorian mode, and that's just like his trademark, you know. And it sounds very good, very freaking good. And his guitar tone is also very soft. It is distorted, but it's not overly like, it's like a little overdrive. There's not really distortion.
same as the emotion that I get from you. You got the kind of loving that can be so smooth. Yeah. Give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it. Or else forget about it. Or else don't forget about it. Give me your heart, make it real, or else don't forget about it. Let's don't forget about it. No, let's don't forget about it. No, let's don't forget about it. Let's don't forget about
Oh god, so good. Let's see. Carlos Humberto Santana Saragan. So he was born in Jalisco. That's where I lived. Outlan, Jalisco. Where is that? Outlan de Navarro. Let's see. Because is that in Guadalajara? Let me look on the map. I want to see where he's from. Da, 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 da. A great song. Let's see if we click on maps. It's Jalisco, but Autlán de Navarro is a city and its surrounding municipio Jalisco. It's 192 kilometers away from Guadalajara. That's where Alexa and I lived when we moved away from Puerto Vallarta. Okay, so he's not from Guadalajara, but pretty close. So cool. Yeah, that's one Mexican musician that Mexico must obviously be proud of, even though he has been in the United States forever. Like when you look up Santana, it says American guitarist. But I mean, America is the continent, in the end, we're all, well, and in my case, I'm definitely not American. I'm European citizen, but I consider myself American from America, from the continent, because I've lived here obviously most part of my life in Mexico and the US, and but I think when you say Americano, it's from north to south, the entire continent of America. That's all the Americans. Like when people say I'm American, like, no, you're I don't even know how you say it, because he's a U.S. citizen, United States of America, and there's the other countries are also United States of Mexico. That's literally the name of Mexico, Estados Unidos Mexicanos, or a Canadian, French Canadian. They're all Americans. The people from Argentina, from Brazil, they're Americanos, right? And a lot of people don't know this, but that's the way it is. Okay, so this last one, this is my addition to this marathon, has been wonderful. This is Aldi Meola. He's from New York City, and he's famous for being in bands with Chick Corea, and he has played like with the best of the best. I've seen him twice. Alex and I, we've seen him twice, and he was just wonderful. And this is a more Latino, because this is from Argentina. So this is the Meola plays Piazzolla. I think Piazzolla is from Argentina. Let's look it up. Let's get it right. Astor. Argentinian composer. Okay, so this is a tango by Aldi Meola, pretty much dedicated to Astor Piazzolla, who's from Argentina. Here we go. This is literally, like, I haven't heard this in maybe 15 years. This is the last time I heard this is, I think, when it came out. this album was a little bit too intense. It's so beautiful, but it's hauntingly beautiful. Like this kind of tango music is like what they used in 13 Monkeys. It's like it has this eerie vibe. It's beautiful, but it's just very the whole CD, the entire CD. I think how long is it? An hour. So an hour of this is just a little bit too much. I think this is the perfect, like 5-6 minutes is the perfect amount to take in this music, because it's like it's not for everyone. I love it. I personally could listen to this, but I'm sure that a lot of people would be like, well, I'm good after one or two songs. Okay, so this is awesome because as you know, we had like a 90-minute interview with Hernan Romero on the channel, and he is on this album. As we told you, he used to play with Aldi Meola and Paco de Lucia and others. He also told us some stories with Peter Gabriel, but he's on the piano, the keyboards, charango, which is the instrument that is, I don't know if you can see it, it's right behind the guitar. I don't know how to play it. And then he's also on the vocals, so he does all the vocals. Beautiful. The Aldi Meola does the guitars, pandean, pipe, vocals, percussion, and the arrangements. This is amazing. It's amazing, this album. And it's a tribute to Astor Piazzolla. But yeah, I didn't know that literally, and we're good friends, with Hernan Romero. That's literally the only interview we've ever done. I don't know why we stopped. It's because of Alexia's back, because I already had like 3 people that I was, messaging back and forth, and I kind of like stopped because she just can't do these long videos anymore. It's such a shame. Okay, let's keep going. So now I know it's Hernan Romero and I'm enjoying it even more. So good. Beautiful, beautiful composition. Wow, what basically what came after this as a recommendation was Yes. That's cool that they kind of like play Yes after Ali Meola. I think I consider him among my top 5, with like Alan Holdsworth number 1. I would place him, I don't know, man. I mean, I love Pat Metheny so much. So Pat Metheny and Ali Meola for me are basically at the same, but there's so many players. Scott Henderson, Guthrie, Frank Gambale, who's amazing. There's so many good players. Birelli Lagreen is amazing. This new kid from Italy, Matteo Mancuso. Oh my God, he is like literally. He plays everything. He plays literally like. I think he's gonna end up playing like Holdsworth, if he continues. He already plays everything everybody plays. Like people are literally, guitar players are literally like, this is like a freak of nature. But because he has all these techniques that he could study, and into one. And, so yeah. But what a player. Mwah, beautiful. Ali Meola is such a original guitar player, such a unique sounding one as well. When it comes to these guitar players, there's no contest. You can't say one is better than the other. They're all at a level that is pretty much, you can't say one is better than the other. They all sound amazing. you know. So all these lists, the Rolling Stones, they're all Kurt Cobain, you know, Kurt Cobain is in the top 10. Literally a guy that plays major and minor chords. He's a great composer, a great lyricist, but come on. These people honestly don't play guitar or have never studied any kind of theory or music. And don't get me wrong, I do love Nirvana, but come on, to put a guitar player like that in the top 10 against these people, it's almost insulting. But hey, I'm not gonna start ranting today. Thank you so much for being here, for going through this epic journey of this amazing music. I had a wonderful time. Thank you so much, JK. I do appreciate it. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next one.